Well then, we come to this video about Chapter 2, Literature Review or Review of Related Literature. Now let me explain to you what does it mean with literature review or review of related literature. Scholars in the field define that literature review is the discussion of your research with the guidelines from the findings of other scholars' researches. So the literature that you read need to be dealing with your research topics. If you, let's say, you want to do research about phonology in linguistics, or semantics, or syntax, or diphthongs, or phonemic transcription that are in linguistics, or you also maybe you want to do research about women studies, feminism in novels, short stories or poems, and you might also do research about psychoanalysis in the literature. So those topics need to be addressed and reviewed in the literature review section. Scholar 1, Scholar B, Scholar 3, Scholar 4, 5, and a few journal articles that talk about the findings of similar with your research topic, then you need to cite them, quote, in your literature review. After you cite the finding of the journal articles, you need to discuss what is the main conception or the main theme of the journal articles that deal with your research. So you review it and do not just state the journals, but also you read what are the most important aspects of the findings in the journal articles that you read, and then you synthesize it with your research. So that will create what scholars in the field call it as novelty. So novelty is something new. Well, we believe that there is nothing new under the sun, but at least to have such novelty in your writing will create and present insightful thoughts for your readers. Now, although you begin to write your thesis, now you need to think about the word of gap of the research. It sounds like this. Researcher 1, Researcher 2, Researcher 3, Researcher 4, 5, they did research in your research topics. Let me take an example. I am concentrated my research on English as a foreign language and literature as well as a creative writing. So I found out that research in 2005, maybe researcher 1, researcher A talks about this, and this. Researcher B talks about same thing but different findings. Researcher C still talks about the same research topic, EFL, writing and creative writing of the literature, and researcher D talks about the same thing, but from researcher A, B, C, and D, they have different findings. So that kind of sequence needs to be connected with your research, so you can have the novelty of your research. What is the unique thing of your research? Does it matter for people to read your research? Is it interesting? Is it something new, or people already did this in their research? That is the most important question you have in mind when you want to do the literature review. Well, one day I attended a conference and I met a scholar from United States. He said that, well, for the literature review, there is no exact number of journal articles that you can quote, but 5 to 6 to 7, I think that is so limited if you want to construct the literature review. But if you use too many journal articles, then that will look like so many missing link at that point. But if you can match those findings with the research, then that will create a novelty. This is the gap of the research, and that is the function of the literature review. So you see there is a sequence from chapter 1, introduction, to the literature review. So these two chapters connected easily, and it helps you readers to understand the conception of your research. And the literature review signifies your ability to synthesize and connect with current and emerging issues of research in the field. If you are in English language teaching, or English linguistics, or English literature, you need to find all these different research findings within a specific research topic and frame it into your own research literature review. So your research becomes more interesting and new because of that novelty. Okay? Now that is my explanation about chapter 2, literature review, or review of literature. What about chapter 3, research methodology? Move on to the next